hey, you don't find very many schools stuck to the bottom on sneaky 8 to 12 foot type stuff anymore. It just doesn't happen. There's a lot of fishing pressure on the lake. So I was like, well, I got to go back to what I did years and years ago. And that was like what I just said, like just big fish stuff.
The folks at Jinko Fishing not only bring you the Low Budget Live podcast, they also bring you all the action, like the action that brand new tin cannon walking bait puts out there that makes fish go crazy, or the bait we're very excited about, just released at ICAST. The Dawn Minnow has a rolling action like nothing you've ever seen, especially paired with the Revolution jig head. Amazing combo right there. If you're into the minnow shaking, and a lot of you are out there, I promise you, the Dawn gets a bite. They're all available right now at jinkofishing.com. And just for listening to this show, you can save 20%. Use code LBL20 at jinkofishing.com. Just for being a low lifer, you get 20% off. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. All right, we got to hang the banner. That's right, the Bassmaster Classic winning original all-welded aluminum bass boat. I just got that X21 Pro back in the garage, the Espresso, as I am referring to it, the beautiful Express 21 Pro. I've got a little bit of tan sea deck in that bad boy this year. Still got that 250 Yamaha Show. Best hole shot in the game, more tackle storage than you can shake a stick at. Don't just take my word for it. Find a local dealer. Go sit in one. Go drive one. You will not regret it. Express Boats, building excitement since 1966. Damn 'em. Every all night. I ain't never met a riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine. No, I haven't. Trouble on my mind. So I'm bidding farewell, putting in my notice, and I'll see you at another time. Sing it. This highway does not know my name, and I don't care. No, I don't care. Headed my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare. Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there. Low budget live, the not so live variety from the Low Budget Live Bar and Grill here in beautiful southern Middle Tennessee. And we were back in the bar and grill. I know we did a little bit of a live last week with Randy and Laker Hal, but we're back for the not so live variety presented by Jinko Fishing. And glad to be back with you here today. And kind of a heavy day. Not going to lie, I'm a little late on the podcast for a lot of different reasons. I'm burning it at both ends right now. Had the ABT championship this weekend. I was caught up in that Friday and Saturday, and chose to spend yesterday with the family hanging out. And we're recording actually on a Monday, and normally I release these podcasts on a Monday morning. And so I apologize for a little bit of delay, but today, this is the podcast for Monday, October 20th. And October 20th will always be in a day in my life that is very heavy. And I don't want to be Debbie Downer on y'all, but this right here, y'all remember, if you can see that with the glare from the lights, butterfly. This podcast really 6 years ago took a turn, and a turn for the better, really. I'd been doing it for a couple of years. I got more consistent around that time, but 6 years ago today is when my mom passed away, Teresa Duncan, and an awesome human being. Miss her every day. Never see a butterfly, I don't think about her. That's for sure. Still doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem real where life is at as far as a family is concerned these days. It's very, very different than what I grew up knowing, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all. But I miss my mom every day, and I know I'm trying to be as real with y'all as I can on this podcast, and just got to let you know that is today. That is today. So hug your mama for me. today. If she's still with you, tell her you love her and hug her big. But we miss Teresa Duncan. There's no doubt about that. All right, let's get into it, man. Lots of things to talk about. I'm very blessed in life. I to get to do all the things that I get to do, whether it's NPFL, ABT, this show, my two businesses, all outside of the fishing world, all the things, man. The last year has kind of been crazy. It's been rocky, but man, at times in the business world, not because of anything I did, that's for sure. I had some assistance on that. We'll get into that one day, but things are rock and rolling, man. I am, again, beyond blessed, and things are happening, and couldn't do that without you low lifers. That's just from the bottom of my heart. That's it. I'm in this position I'm in life because of a lot of support. And I'm very well aware of that. And there are a lot of people that support this show, whether it be low lifers or sponsors. And I know people get tired of ad reads, and man, I listen to tons of podcasts. I'm on the road every single week, just about. And I'll be honest, I get it. Ad reads can get a little long, but I think it's very important to listen to ad reads. I think it's very important to support the companies that support what you enjoy, because it does make it all possible. Right at the end of the day, having support on these shows, whether it's in bass fishing or whatever, it definitely makes a big difference in what I'm able to do here. And I've got a lot of big plans for next year, and I want to announce. Very excited. Anytime I get a new partner that comes on board, and you can see right over my shoulder, he even sent me an LED light sign. I mean, come on. I don't have a lot of room for it in this little corner of the bar and grill that I'm in, but American Bait Works reached out. Been knowing those guys for a long time, but we are supported now by Bait Fuel by American Bait Works. Fuel every bite. But this stuff came on the scene a couple years ago, and they've got this fast times 55 formula they got right here in the old squirt bottle. Don't drink it. Don't put it on your salad. Okay. If you're one of those people that likes to eat salad, don't do that. All right. But for your soft plastics, here you go. They obviously make some soft plastics with it infused in there, but put it in a bag of plastics. I've been using it for a very long time. I was excited that they reached out, because I do know that it works. And y'all know that I am in the background of a lot of tournaments. I get to see a lot of things. Okay. I get to see a lot of things that don't get shown on live bass fishing from a lot of anglers that are at the top of their game. And I will just tell you right now, this little bottle right here, somebody's going to get mad about this. This is real life. But this little chapstick looking tube, this is a hard bait stick as well. Okay. So a lot of different, they have an injector. They have lots of different ways to use bait fuel. But I see this one right here a lot in some top anglers' boats out there. Trust me, Bassmaster Classics have been one, and it can be attributed to this. But in this day and time where you do have a lot of fishing pressure, you have anglers that are getting better and better and better all the time. You need every little edge you can get. And scent is something I've always believed in. You can't even smell this. That's the interesting thing about it. It's not it's not like garlic bang back in the day where your boat smelled like a garlic cheeseburger all day. They did like garlic bang. Don't sleep on it. But right here, Bait Fuel, try it. They're a new partner with us here for the coming year. So Bait Fuel, welcome aboard. Fuel every bite right there. Okay. Housekeeping out of the way. I appreciate y'all. Again, every time I see somebody use a code for one of our sponsors, and I had another gentleman reach out this weekend wanting to do some advertising here with the show. Man, that means a lot to me, and it should mean a lot to you, because it means you show up and you support Low Budget Live, right? It should mean something to you that this weird little community of low lifers that we've built over the last 8 years, that people are paying attention in the industry. And that means the world to me, man. So anyways, shout out to y'all for making it all possible. All right. One of those things that I'm blessed to get to do, the NPFL, they've got their registration is open now. And it's not so much a registration process as it is an application process. Okay. And that's been since day one. You get on, You fill out your information. You kind of put up a resume. And then they go through, handpick. They have a ton of applicants every year, but they want a solid league. They want to make sure that you can finish the season, whether it's financially, whether that's mentally, whatever, because a lot of times people bite off more than they can chew in fishing. I used to see it at the FLW Tour. You see it at the Bassmaster Opens a lot. It's not cheap to do this, right? You might not be cut out to do it, and that's okay. You don't have to go pay $30,000 to go bass fishing, okay? I would suggest if you are going to sign up that you know that you can make it through the year, that you're not going to get spun out 2 tournaments in if you ain't cashed a check. And unfortunately, we see this. Again, I saw it on the FLW Tour. I know they've seen it on the pro circuit. You see it in Toyotas all over the place because this is a very stressful and expensive sport to be a part of. It is pay to play. So applications are open now through the 31st. I will tell you, they've got over 100 anglers already committed to 2026, and the list is bananas. A lot of new anglers showing up. And, we've had a turnover every year. It's just naturally happens. Again, is it somebody trying to go, they decide they want to go to the Elite Series, so they're going to go to the Opens? Is it somebody going to the Tackle Warehouse? There's lots of options for people out there in the sport of pro fishing, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing because now with the forward-facing sonar divide, you have a lot of options. NPFL's no forward-facing sonar. You've got the new rules there at Tackle Warehouse. You can use it a third of the day each day. And we are going to see some of our former anglers go over there and dabble in that with an attempt to make the Bass Pro Tour. And I say, go get it. Wish them nothing but the best. No ill will whatsoever in that situation. But applications are open now. So if you're thinking you'd like to throw a dart at it, go ahead. I saw an interesting video from Luke Clausen, former Bassmaster Clap, listen to me. Classic champion, former Forest Wood Cup champ, just a fish catcher for a long time. Was very successful at a young age. Kind of been all over the place, from the elites to the BPT. He made an announcement that after looking at all of his options, he's coming to fish the NPFL. I just saw it this morning, as a matter of fact. Didn't realize that Luke was going to come join us. And he made a comment in this video that was interesting to me that Bassmaster, and I did not know this, apparently they changed it a month ago. They have the Legends exemption. So if you're a former Classic champ, former Angler of the Year, you might be able to slide back in. We've seen Jordan Lee pull that. We've seen Gerald Swindle pull that when he was going back. Brandon Polinick got in the mix back. Jason Christie. A lot of these anglers got back in, either qualified through the Opens, but some took a Legends. We saw it with Cliff Pace. But now that is relegated to only existing Elite Series competitors. So there's no more loophole. You can't get in. Those spots are highly coveted. So interesting move. To me, man, if you've won a Classic or you've won Angler of the Year, should you just be able to show back up and throw your money in the bucket and go get after it? I don't know. I feel like maybe yes, but did not know that. Had not publicly seen that change. So that was an interesting one that I saw in Luke's video. Of course, Luke will be great on the NPFL. Look forward to hanging out with Mr. Clausen. I hadn't seen him in a number of years. Fished around him a lot over the years. But, new change. So no more Legend spots. So if you're out, and it's only allowed to keep the folks that are in the Elite Series, you can play that card if you're fixing to get bumped in the Elite Series. You can't be on the outside looking in. You can't decide that you don't want to play with BPT anymore and make that switch. You can't decide that the Opens suck and are too hard and just go, hey, I want in. You can't do that. Can't do that anymore. So educating everybody on that. I thought that was very interesting to hear from Luke. I do also want to say something in regards to NPFL. 5 seasons in the books, man. The championship was awesome. Congrats again to Scott Hamrick. Just absolutely crushed on the last day. Crushed all 3 days, but had his best day. Saved it for last. Ends up winning there. Last guy to qualify for the championship. First place. That's cool to me. $100,000. Feeling the emotion on stage from him when I was emceeing. It was very cool. Very cool. And Scott's not a household name. and he got it done, right? He qualified for the championship and he got it done. And there's been so much talk this year with NPFL. First of all, about the forward-facing sonar ban, and there were a lot of anglers that liked it. Then we had an influx this year, a dozen or so, of some of the biggest names in bass fishing show up. And, to join the likes of Patrick Walters and John Cox and Drew Cook that have, that I would say are some of the quote unquote bigger names that have been, Kyle Welcher, that have been fishing with us, right? And there's always going to be grumbling and complaining in fishing. If you're fishing a Tuesday night tournament and somebody shows up with a wrap boat, people automatically are like, "Oh, go, here we go," and people throw a fit. I've seen it my whole life. If a guide shows up, if people are just fundamentally opposed to thinking somebody's got a competitive advantage over them, and I always have just kind of laughed at that notion. I think that's stupid. Have more confidence in your abilities than that. And I get sometimes it can feel a little David versus Goliath, but like you got to, if you're in that situation, and what I'm getting at is we did hear some bitching this year at NPFL. Man, them elite guys show up and they got all the coverage. Well, hell, they were the top 10 in the Angler of the Year race, and they were in the top 5 lot in the tournaments, and that's how we decide who gets cameras. I heard that a bunch, and I'm not going to hear it. It's like, it's just stupid. Most of your problems in life can be solved by succeeding or changing something you're doing. The same goes for bass fishing. Whether you're in your club, whether you're at BFLs, in the Opens, Toyotas, or on one of the major trails, all of your problems can be solved. Man, I can't get enough sponsors. Catch more, do more, work harder. Man, I wish them big name guys wasn't here. There goes some checks. Well, dude, if you're finishing on an average of like 80th in the points every year before they got there, look in the mirror. It's not the league's fault, and I do think that a lot of the criticism for some of the anglers that are pissing and moaning, and we had a few leave, but a lot of guys are coming back. But I think some of the criticism stands from the fact that it was in the beginning when they announced the NPFL, the idea behind the NPFL, it was, hey, we're going to schedule these tournaments 6 weeks apart, and it is kind of catering to the working man, which always drives me crazy. The working man. Remember that from the Opens controversy a few years ago? You're taking out the working man. Hell, I'm a working man, so I don't get to fish tournaments. I understand better than anybody. But I think you have to keep an open mind. You can't be about a business and support a business and talk about the great people within the organization and, man, it's the time of my life, and I really enjoy all the relationships I've made and things like that, and then criticize them for changing the way they operate, because it's a highly competitive space, okay? And when they came out, I even criticized the NPFL before I joined, and y'all know I've criticized them since I've been there about decisions and different things. And there's only so much pie to go around in the fishing world. There just is. So another professional league made it hard. Sponsors are splitting dollars up. Anglers are having to make a decision on where they're going to go, or are they going to fish 2 things, 3 things, and we've been very fortunate. People have supported us. And I think the 2 biggest things that they've done, the ban and forward-facing sonar worked for them. It worked for them. I've talked about it on here endlessly that it wasn't necessarily my choice. If I got a vote in it, which I don't, I just talk about bass fishing. And if they said we're only going to use cane poles, I'll still go work for the NPFL. I believe in those guys. I love those guys like family. Okay. We're very close. But they didn't call and ask Luke for a vote on the forward-facing sonar thing. I've talked about it. I would like to have seen a split, whatever. But for them, it was the best business decision. Now, ask yourself this. If you're running a league that has the word professional in it, which I think it's bizarre that people could be upset that actual professionals, quote unquote professionals, show up to a league called the National Professional Fishing League. It's a $5,000 entry fee, which is not exactly your Tuesday night tournament. They're paying $100,000 first place. You got live coverage. You got all the things of professional fishing, but you're pissed that a professional angler wants to be a part of it. That's weird. I want to fish against the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. When I was on the FLW tour, got my teeth kicked in more times than not. Got my teeth kicked in because I showed up, I fished, and I went back to work. And then I'd show up again for the next tournament, and I'm fishing against Brian Thrift. Okay, you're fishing against Jacob Wheeler. You're fishing against Matt Airy, Scott Canterbury. These guys that's their sole life. But guess what? It just drove me to want to catch them more. Like, just to work harder, figure it out. And when I did have success against those guys, dude, you're flying high. You're flying high. But I knew the assignment going in. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. You know what you're up against, right? And I get if you signed up in year one, which I think we had 15 or 16 anglers in year 5 that were there in year 1. And I think if you signed up in year 1 and you never thought you'd have to run against a buzzsaw like Patrick Walters, maybe I understand that a little bit. But once he's been there for a few years, you know, and has brought a lot of positivity to the league, you know, I'm a Patrick Walters fan. But I'm also a fan of, I'm not biased. Like, I'm a fan of everybody that signs up for the NPFL. It's what makes it possible. It's just like the Alabama Bass Trail. We're not playing favorites. Nobody's playing favorites whatsoever. Nobody. If you get a camera, it's based on standings, the top 5 in standings. We don't randomly pick a guy to go on camera unless we broadcast all 3 days like we did at the championship. Then we based it off of last year's Angler of the Year standings. So there's no favorites being played. You know, I see some narratives online from people that don't know what they're talking about that say this kind of stuff, right? You know, there's it just drives me crazy, and I have to defend it. I do have to defend it, but like you gotta ask yourself, if you're running a professional league, and the only way they survive, the only way a professional trail survives, 2 ways: entry fees, sponsor dollars. Okay, so if you believe in, man, this is a place I want to be. I want to fish this trail. This is awesome. The vibe is great around it more times than not. You know, the tournament crew, it's smooth, man. They're putting my boat in the water. All the things that I hear all the time, right? And if you want to support something like that, and you want it to last, but you are in charge of it, and you get an opportunity, and the phone rings. And it's an application process. Again, there's no qualifying. They don't have a feeder league yet. Maybe one day, but right now they don't. So you get all this, and you're the boss. You're Brad Fuller. You're sitting there, and you got that Brad Fuller beard, right? You got one of the best beards in the game. Real recognizes real. And even though I think he flat irons it, and it total sidebar, you know, it's a manicured beard, Brad. We know this. But you're Brad Fuller, and you're sitting there. And you're making decisions. You're making decisions for the betterment of the league, to make sure that, you know, after year 1, we didn't know we'd be in business on year 2. And after year 2, you didn't know you'd be in business after year 3. And so on, so on, so on. Thankfully, Mike Como came in, purchased the league, very supportive, okay? But you're Brad Fuller in year 5. Going into year 5 last year, and the phone rings. Who is this? Oh, it's Hank Cherry. Bassmaster Classic champ. Hang on a second. It's Hank Cherry. Hey, Brad, I'd like to fish your league. No, you can't. Might upset some people. Boop. And you already had Patrick Walters, Drew Cook, several other stone-cold fish catchers, Jason Williamson. The phone rings again. Oh, it's Gerald Swindle. What's this guy want? No, you know, Gerald with the reach he's got. Phone rings again. Greg Hackney. Get out of here. If you're the boss and you have an opportunity to bring a little more pop, just a little bit. And again, this is no offense to anybody. This is just real talk. This is no offense to anybody that's ever fished the NPFL, because we have fantastic anglers, okay? Fantastic anglers with fantastic stories. But for 4 years, I know what the numbers were. On live stream. I lived it, saw it in there for hours a day, okay? And I think the combination of people like to feel comfortable, okay? So I think the combination that we had anglers that people knew, for the first time that they really knew, unless you're just a diehard, and we had a lot of diehards that did know the Hunter Bogmans and the Kevin Rogers and the guys that are our guys, Luis Fernandez, the guys that are our guys, quote unquote, OG NPFLers, Will Harkins. These dudes, right? Timmy Reams, goodness great. Bryant Smith fished with us, went to the Elite Series. Like so many guys, we've had a lot of, Keith Carson's had a lot of great anglers. Still got a lot of great anglers. Nick Brown, so many great anglers. But I think that the combination of the no forward-facing sonar and a comfort factor when it comes to every now and then when you turn on, you know the story, you know what you get, right? And I think that made a big difference. And we saw that. We saw that with the fan base. We saw that. And I think that, man, if you support it and you want it to succeed and you have been a part of it, it is very short-sighted to think that is a bad move. You're never going to get 150 of the, I think we cap it 130 actually, but you're never going to get 130 of the biggest, baddest names of sport. The sport's too divided. You got BPT guys, you got elite guys, and it's a lot on their plate to fish both. It's also a major decision to not fish. It's like what Luke Clausen's doing. He's not fishing anything but the NPFL and some one bass tournaments out west, he said. No opens, nothing like that. That is a big decision. It's a big decision. And so I just think that it's not fair, man. It's not fair. I understand what their mission statement was when they began. And I know this headed into the rest of 2025 and into 2026. I know that Brad Fuller has the angler's best interest at heart. I know that the league is trying to continually improve. I know they're trying that with payouts, different things for next year. I know it. I've seen it, looked at it. I know that Mike Como is a giant supporter of professional bass fishing. I know that. He loves it to his core. And I know they're good people. So I get very frustrated. And like I said, they do something stupid, I'll criticize it tomorrow. I have, numerous times. Brad will tell you that. Me and Brad have gone toe-to-toe on this show. Brad will tell you that. But I will not, especially people that aren't in the league, or associated in any way, just squawking about all the positivity they bring in life. But just running them down, it's just stupid. So I got to say that. I look forward to, I will end this rant with, I look forward to next season, just like I've looked forward to every single season of the NPFL, regardless of who's fishing and who's not, right? And next year's going to be a lot of fun. Yet again, got a great schedule. Got a good lineup so far. Looks like it's going to be fun. Got some new faces. I did see a list of anglers, and we got some new faces, and it's going to be a ride, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, sorry, I got sent some stuff this weekend, and I've been doing some tractor time. Been doing some tractor therapy, as Uncle Gerald Swindle calls it. And I've been on the track. I was on the tractor a lot last week. Was thinking about things, and man, I just I'm grateful. I'm grateful for so many things, but looking forward to next season. All right. Alabama Bass Trail just wrapped up, and I know, big deal, Luke, it's a regional thing. We're from all over the country. We don't care about the ABT. I know some of you do. I'll make a joke. We had our ABT championship, man. It was awesome. Congrats to Donnie Beck, Tony Harvey, $50,000 richer with their big win on Wheeler Lake. These guys, I fished against them since I was a kid with my dad. Did a lot of reminiscing, too, this weekend on Wheeler. Just a place I cut my teeth with Marty Duncan fishing. And Donnie Beck and Tony Harvey were two dudes that just always took our money, and they still take a lot of people's money week in and week out. They're just so dialed, and they were able to win. Got a narrow win over Fisher and Ryan Anaya. And before we move on to our guest, I want to say, Ben spent a lot of time around Fisher the last couple of years. He's 19 years old. He's 19. he was born to do this. He's been ate up with it since he was he's young, but since he was really young. His dad, Ryan, all in on supporting him for sure and getting him what he needs to do what he wants to do. And instead of college, he's fishing graduated last year. He's fishing the Bassmaster Opens. He's third right now in the EQ race, but he just finished second, narrowly missed winning. You could feel the emotion in the kid. He was shook after not getting the win. And I saw that same emotion when him and his dad won on Gunnersville last year. How much he loves this sport. And a lot of runway ahead for him. But pay attention to that name. Fisher and I, one more EQ to go. And he's right there in the hunt, third place. And he's going to catch him. He's never been to Okeechobee. He didn't get to go before the pre-practice. But I feel like, I'm just saying, if he makes the elites, I really do feel like Fisher is going to be a problem. He's very much that Trey McKinney style. Yeah, he's a great live scope fisherman. He is dialed with it, but buddy, he might beat you another way too. He really does it all, and I think that he can make some noise. But we're going to miss him in the ABT, man. It's been a lot of fun covering him and his dad. And again, not playing favorites, not playing favorites. But I just think it's so amazing that the Alabama Bass Trail is such a proving ground. And it is. Like, you want to know if you can go to the next level. Lucas Lindsay's a guy that's doing that right now. We've got so many others. Wesley Gore in the Elite Series. Dustin Connell's former ABT. And these guys fish a lot of different tournaments, okay? It's not like Miss K's taking credit for all their success or anything like that. But, man, it has been a proving ground. And it is. If you can catch them there consistently in the points, everywhere we go, you can compete. You can compete around the country. That's just a stone cold fact. If you don't catch them in the ABT, consistently over 3 or 4 years, you might not want to jump in the opens. But man, we've got a guy right now, Tommy Wood from Australia. He fished the ABT with us this year and did okay. Didn't get to fish all the events, but he's right in the mix in the EQs. Very, very cool. But it's a proving ground. It's a proving ground. I think anybody that fishes it will tell you that. It's one of the hardest trails in the country. And just wrapped another regular season with them. Got one more ABT 100 to go, which pros can fish down on Wilson Lake. But awesome event on Wheeler, and congrats again, Donnie Beck, Tony Harvey, and congrats to the Anais. Had a dead fish, which is a pound penalty. It's very steep in the ABT. And if they had not had the dead fish, they would have won by 1,000th of an ounce. And so I know that's where some of the emotion came from, but big things on the way for Fisher and I. So pay attention right there. So from the youngest guy trying to qualify for the elites to the old dog that knows all the tricks and he's learning new tricks. He's the self-proclaimed great old hope of the opens. That made me laugh. I saw an article this week. Mike Suchan, Such, had written about this gentleman. I've known this guy for a very long time. I roomed with him in the opens one season when I was about 20 years old. He's always been one of my favorite guys in the fishing industry. He's always been real as rain. He likes to power fish. He's old cranker is what I call him. Old cranker. Every time I say him, what's up, cranker? Loves to throw a crankbait. And used to just beat the brakes off everybody in Alabama. Another one of them Alabama guys that went on to do big things. He's a bass fishing millionaire. He's 53 years old. He's the oldest guy in the EQ Elite Series cut right now with a chance to qualify going into Okeechobee, the oldest by a long shot. And we're going to get him right now. Russ Lane. All right, as promised, here he is. He calls himself the great old hope. I read it in that article. I told y'all in the intro, Russ Lane. Here he is. How are you, buddy?
Man, I'm doing good. I don't remember saying that. I mean, it's kind of catchy. I
It is
think
catchy.
I think Sukon kind of
He ran with
set it up, but
yeah.
I don't remember saying that. But hey, if it's true, it's true.
Hey, if the shoe fits, son, that's what
That's
I say.
right.
We're all getting
That's
a little
right.
older these days. I've known you for a long, long time, man. And
Yeah.
you've had a great career, over $1 million in earnings, and you went from the elites to PPT, and you decided to leave that a couple years ago. And I read in that article that that first year in the opens didn't go the way you wanted. You made some adjustments. You said you were blind as a bat. You got some
Yep.
LASIK surgery. And now
Yep.
this year, dude, you are one tournament away from being back over there fishing for the classic again every year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. Like, I got readers on now, because I need them. I need them up close. But I actually like my eyesight was so bad. Like I didn't realize how bad it was. But the last couple of years, I'd realized like I'd be making a flip or pitch or trying to skip a dock or something, and I was like, I feel fine, but I can't cast anymore. Like, what in the world is going on? And I just had no depth perception at all, and I didn't realize what a huge difference it made. And they tried to set it up like they can do it now, one eye, like one eye is good. They'll set it up for being up close, and then another for far away. And if your brain can handle that, then it works. Well, I'm one of the rare ones that my brain couldn't sort that out, so I had to pick either being able to see close up or far away. And I said 60 feet, whatever you got to do. I want it to be 60 feet. I can wear readers, and they did. And man, it is crazy how good I can see now off in the distance.
Well, that's why I saw in that article you said you can see better now than you could before. You
Oh,
felt like at a
yeah,
distance.
there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Like, I mean, I can see, I see things like critters and stuff out here moving, a couple hundred yards away now that I probably couldn't have seen since my 20s.
But now, as far as up close though, like if you're sight fishing, you roll up on one on the bed, you got to have some help there. Or
Well,
can
no, it's really only about probably arm's length in front of me where it's a
okay,
little blurry,
gotcha.
but it's probably 50% better than it was. Like I only need like a 1.5 reader now where I needed a like a 3.0 before.
Okay.
So, but
And
yeah, but no, like if it's 6 or 8 feet away, I see great.
see, I'm asking these questions, Russ, because I'm 42 now. My mama
It's
had
coming.
LASIK, my daddy had LASIK, and they
Mhm.
had both had terrible eyesight. I've always been eagle eye, like I
Yeah,
mean, for the most part. And my dad's like, "Man, I don't know how you got lucky with that, with the way me and your mama are." For years, he'd say that, and now getting
yep,
little
yep,
harder, especially you get around dark and you in that stand. I can't see that pin on the bow near as good anymore.
yes,
Things starting to change
yes.
a little bit. So yeah, I'm asking for not only for the low lifers in the audience, but I'm asking for myself.
Yeah, well, it'll be the best money you ever spent when you know it's time to do it. I
Yeah,
guarantee
and I
you.
guarantee when you know, right?
No, ain't no doubt.
Ain't no doubt about it. Man, let's talk about this season. And I thought about when that article popped up, I was like, man, I need to get Russ on, and I want to talk about this. And I thought about waiting till after Okeechobee, but man, it's just such a I think that one of the reasons I reached out is I just wrapped up the Alabama Bass Trail Championship, and you got Fisher and I finished second, and you got Fisher in it. He's
Yeah,
19, and he's up there in the points. And then I read Mike's article, and you're 53, and that age gap, and there's lots of guys in between, but most of them you said in the article are young enough to be your kids. And
yeah,
man, bass fishing has made this huge shift with between high school competition, college competition. We just continually see it getting younger.
yeah,
And of course, the technology obviously plays a role in that as well, right? But what's it been
yeah,
like on the opens, duking it out all year with folks that most of them are half your age?
yeah. I mean, it's been fun. I mean, I enjoyed it this year. I've traveled with Randall Tharp, and man, it's been awesome traveling with him the last couple of seasons. And we made it a point to like have fun. Like we're old enough now, like we can compete, and we compete hard, and we practice hard, and we prepare hard, but we make sure we have a good time too. But like it's been fun watching these kids. Like it's impressive how I guess how thorough they are, how efficient they seem to be. Um just I don't know, you just notice a lot of things on the water about them that they have uh that we didn't have at that age. I mean, I was pretty hot, around Alabama on the weekend tournaments and stuff when I was in my early 20s, but it was
No
a
doubt.
different mindset. I was just a bulldog. And everything was, I'm going to hit as many big fish places more than anybody else today. Well, they're like, it's a different mentality with them. They fish a little bit slower, it seems like, but they're a lot more thorough. And I don't know. I've learned a lot from watching them.
Well, I say that all the time because it depends on where you're at in on the spectrum of bass fishing. Obviously there's a lot of debate all the time, and I kind of get
Yeah.
tired of, to be honest, about the young
Yeah.
guys. Well, these young guys, it's all technology. Well, it's a lot of technology. I will give you that. They've
Yeah.
embraced it. They grew up with it. They had it. We didn't have it for a long time. You
Right.
you yourself and me, when Garmin came out with it, we were some of the first people that had it in our hands. So we have no
That's right.
excuse. But
No.
their whole bass fishing life has been around it. But what I see with them, whether it's we got a lot of great young guys on the Alabama Bass Trail, we've got a lot of great young guys around NPFL over the last few years. Man, I just see a work ethic with a lot of them, dude.
Yeah.
Like they put the dang time in. Like they are
Yeah, they
obsessed
do.
with it.
Yeah, they do. And they like, I'm just stating things that I see with my own
Right,
eyes.
right. Yeah,
They have more resources now than we
for
did
sure.
at that age.
Sure.
It's almost like travel baseball for young kids. Like
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
so many moms and dads backing these guys in. I'm talking about in the opens. They're
Yes,
backing them in
dude.
the water. They're
Yes, dude.
waiting on them with the trailer in the water at the end of the day. Dinner's ready. They're helping them. Like it's a like I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm saying that is a huge advantage, which accelerates the learning curve, in my
No,
opinion.
no doubt, dude. And I've said
Yeah.
that on the show. We live in a travel ball. I've said it. We live in a travel sports world
Yes.
now where mamas
Yes.
and daddies, whatever little Johnny or little Jenny want to do in life, dude, they'll take out
Yeah.
a second mortgage on their damn house to make sure they get to do it. And I mean, I
They
know
will.
people. I never really let my kids play travel sports that much, man. And now I really feel like you almost have to be competitive. But I was a
Yeah.
rec ball guy growing up, right? Like, and I know you being
Hmm.
a former ball player,
Yeah.
and it's just it all has changed. Kids play baseball 12 months out of the year now. Used to,
Yeah. That's right.
if you were Russ Lane, the stud on the high school baseball team, you probably played basketball and football too, right? Like you played all the sports. I mean, that's
For
just kind of
real.
that's how it worked, but not anymore.
I
And dude,
know.
fishing is the same way. And I talked about a couple of weeks ago. My kids have fished one high school tournament ever. And I decided
Yeah.
it's my oldest senior year. We went to one the first week of September on Kentucky Lake. It was awesome. Got to coach both my kids in it, so captain for both my boys. But dude, when I rolled up at that weigh-in, and I saw they
Hmm.
got all these tents from each school, and you got mamas got pizzas over there waiting on them, and they got drinks for everybody. My
Yeah.
mouth was open. I'm like, what is going on? This ain't a damn bass tournament. This
I
is
know.
so much more than that now. And I just never
I
expected
know.
it. I've never been to one. And it was
Yeah.
something to see. And I know that just translates right into the next level. And we've seen
Yeah.
it even with younger guys in NPFL for sure, man.
Yeah. That's right. I know. I mean, but the world's changing. I mean,
No doubt.
all types of sports and business and everything, is evolving. Things are moving quicker and quicker, and that's just the curve.
No,
You
no
know,
doubt about it.
these guys. But you hear a lot of the older guys say, but it's all about the technology, forward facing sonar, like blah blah blah. Like that's not it. If for always the specialists in our sport have won tournaments, like,
Yes.
and those guys are specialists at what they do. So I came up, and if I wasn't flipping, I was cranking. So that
Yep.
was my two
Bull
things.
cranker. That's right.
but but if when it came time to grind, I wasn't like out whatever with a spinning rod in my hand because I wouldn't have any confidence in it. Well, those guys that are dedicated from the word go to forward facing sonar, they don't have confidence in something else that draws them away from it. See, guys like my age, we struggle with it
Mhm.
because
Yes.
when we're grinding and we're zooming around, we're looking for these pelagic fish, and we're not seeing something that makes sense to us. we have these other things that we have confidence in that draw us away from it. Well, that's
Yep.
when those kids kick it in another gear. And I've seen that the last couple of years, and they stick with it. They don't, they, if they were frog fishermen, they would not put it down if they haven't had a bite at 12 o'clock. They would keep
That's
doing
right.
it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's that siren song I say all the time that I think the veteran guys have struggled with because, dude, you can't erase 30 years of bass fishing knowledge, 35 years.
No.
You know that they get on this kind of dock on a certain lake at a certain time. You know that they get on this transition deal. You know
Yeah.
that where they get in the summer. And if you don't, and I'm the same dude, I get out there poking around. I love to scope. And I get out there poking
Yeah.
around, and I don't see some, catch some pretty quick. Well, I'm gonna go skip my jig under dock. Like I can't help
Yeah.
it. Like
That's me too.
just
Yep.
that's the hardest part with it. And their
Yeah.
commitment to it is impressive because they just know at some
Yeah.
point they gonna see one to catch. Like that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah. For
different.
sure.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing so far. Well, how has it been? You're 2 years removed from BPT, and I know it's a big decision to leave that uh, for sure. It was a big decision to leave the
Yeah.
elites, go to BPT, but that every fish counts format, I feel like didn't suit a lot of guys' fishing style. And I know you and
Yeah.
I've talked about this, and you are, I would say, you're a big fish guy. Like you said, in your local days, you're going to hit as many big fish places. You're a power fisherman through and through.
Yeah.
So has it been a breath of fresh air being back in the five fish format?
Man, it has. Like I really thought that I was gonna be decent at the every fish counts format. And I'll see if I can explain this right. So a lot of like I had a lot of confidence and did really well on Tennessee River, like over the years in the Elite Series and coming up and stuff. And it was because I would find schools of fish. Well, I thought, I can work hard and try to find those schools of cranking type fish in the every fish counts format. But
Mm-hmm.
but you factor in, gosh, everybody's texting me. Sorry, hope y'all can't hear all
It's
that.
okay.
So so so
The seasons are starting to change a little bit, starting to be a little cool at night, and you better be ready for the fall and winter fishing season or hunting season. And you can do that by going to gillfishing.com. Make sure your rain suit is up to par for those cooler days, nasty days on the water. We're going to have a lot of fronts coming up. You want to be prepared. Get you some layering gear, get you some hoodies, get you some boots. Gillfishing.com. You can use code LBL20. That's right, 20% off at gillfishing.com on some of the best outdoor gear in the game. Tell them we sent you. Gillfishing.com, LBL20. Pro Guide Batteries, ProGuideBatteries.com is where you can find everything that they make. And why trust your battery game to someone that is a fly-by-night company? There are battery companies that pop up, I feel like, every week. The folks from Pro Guide have been in this battery business for over 40 years. They make some of the finest lead acid, AGM, and lithiums in the game, and now they have a new charger line. That's what I'm running in the Express this year. I've got a little bit of mix of lithium, AGM, and a Pro Guide 5-bank charger. Check them out, ProGuideBatteries.com. LBL10 will save you money just for being a lowlifer. Baitworks.com, bait-wrx.com, the exclusive online home for this little bad boy right here. The LOB Power Finesse Jig, finer than frog hair skirt material, custom trocar hook. It is jig season officially. This dude right here, this time of year, absolutely puts in the work. Dunkin-10, Dunkin-10 saves you money on that and everything else on the Baitworks site, baitworks.com. And last but not least, what's up, old boy? Old Boy Brands, Old Boy Outfitters out of Knoxville, Tennessee. They make some of the coolest lifestyle gear in the game, from their game day collections to their hunting and fishing tees, long sleeve hooded sun shirts, shorts. They got a little bit of everything. Hoodies, it's growing by the day. Oldboyoutfitters.com is where you can find it, and you can use code OLDBOYLUKE, old boy, OLE boy, Luke, at checkout to save some money.
so like that's like a going away thing at the time, 6, 7 years ago. All right. And I think it's because of forward facing sonar. So now fish don't seem to school up like they
Mm-mm.
used to. So it's like all of a sudden I realized like, hey, you don't find very many schools stuck to the bottom on sneaky 8 to 12 foot type stuff anymore. It just doesn't happen. There's a lot of fishing pressure on the lake. So I was like, well, I got to go back to what I did years and years ago. And that was like what I just said, like just big fish stuff. Just let's catch one and go catch another one. Worry about the next one next and just hit big fish types of targets and cover. And it just something told me like, all right, this ain't gonna work. You just got to get out of here. So I did, and me and Randall talked about it, and Randall's the same. Randall
No
is the
doubt.
same way. You know, I mean, gosh, how many people won as many tournaments as Randall has just fishing for a big one and then go fish for
Yep.
another one.
Yep.
Yep. So it has been enjoyable this year because I really have embraced that. Just slowing down and just trying to start the day thinking, all right, just act like you got a limit in the box and go catch a big one and then go catch another one. And that's
So
kind of,
that's been the approach even with points on the line for you.
oh yeah, like
Interesting.
I'm trying not to think about points at all. Like,
Okay.
yeah, just go catch big ones. And that's why I'm so fired up about going to Okeechobee. Like,
Oh
oh, what
yeah,
a better place to cap off a good year. I mean, I hope things go right, but I mean, how it can go. I mean,
no doubt.
stuff can happen, but God, man, I'm gonna really enjoy being in that mindset of, you know, flipping and frogging and just trying to catch. I want to weigh in a couple 8 pounders every day, and I'm gonna fish for them.
I know you will, man. And
Yeah.
reading that article, I could feel that because you're talking about Okeechobee. You got a lot of success there in the past. You've been there, Lord knows how many times. And I
Mhm.
know you're looking forward to that one. You got that one circled. Now you had a top 10 at Wheeler. And I thought when I saw the schedule for the EQs and you had made it, I'm like, Russ is fixing to make noise. I mean, you've got a lot of success in Alabama over the years. I know you've been to Champlain a million times, but for me, it was Wheeler, Okeechobee. I'm like, and when you were in position coming out of Champlain, you had a great one up there, top 10
Yeah.
Wheeler. I'm like, boy, this is, and you want that Angler of the Year title for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I mean, yeah, like I want the option to be able to fish the Elite Series, but I definitely want to win Angler of the Year. Like that's what I'm gonna be thinking about on that 10-hour drive down there because heck, it pays good money. It's like 45 grand, and who couldn't use 45 grand?
Well, that'll pay for a lot of food plots to eat, buddy.
Yes, yes, yes. I need a few more deer stands.
Exactly. You always got to have some more lock-ons, got to have some more shooting houses. I totally agree with
Yep.
that. Well, I think definitely it's setting up right for you. And something else, I talked to Fisher and I about this on Saturday. Seems like there might be fewer anglers show up to this one just because if you don't have a chance to qualify, you might not want to spend the money.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I expect it probably will be because there was a fall off just going to Wheeler. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, I kind of hate that for guys that are lowering the points because it kind of reduces the opportunity for somebody to make big jumps. I mean, I think it can still happen, but if we only have like just say we only have a 70 boat field down there and everybody keeps telling me all I need is what is it, like 60 points or something. I mean, this,
Hmm.
you know but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Yeah.
No, well, you're gonna. Hey, if that scenario shakes out like that, you're on the right side of it. You'd probably be
Yeah.
more upset if you were on the other side. But I've talked to some guys that
Yeah.
aren't going, that have told me they're just not, not going to spend that money. I mean, there's still a classic, qualification potential on the line. But I
Yeah.
think what probably frustrated guys was seeing, Laker had a terrible tournament, Laker Howe, at Champlain
Mm,
and then wins
yeah,
Wheeler and he's just 40th in the points. Like that jump
I
didn't
know.
swing it enough to get him close. So I think that people are like, well, why would I go if I'm 50th in the points? I
Yeah,
have no chance, even if I won, to potentially
I
get
know.
in. That's just kind of the nature of the beast, and it is what it is. But I think
Yeah,
realistically, going into Okeechobee, you need to be what, probably top 15 to have a chance to get in.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
something like that.
obviously, I really haven't looked at it that much. I know that I'm like 10 or 11 points behind, uh, the Messer guy that's leading. I think that's how you say his name.
Matt, yeah,
Um,
I believe that's
yeah,
right,
Matt.
Matt.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, I just
Another
need to
one of the
make that up.
Another one of them youngins. And Okeechobee might set up like scope versus old school too, man, because they all of a sudden
They
scope
can.
became a thing at Okeechobee a couple years ago, and who would have thought
Yes.
it? And Tyler Rivette kind of blew that deal up, and now all of a sudden you got to worry about it when you go there. The
Yeah.
Florida Lakes, I got a rude awakening in an open. I guess it's been 3 years ago now or something, and we were at Toho, Kissimmee Toho, and I just never like, dude, I wasn't even looking at it. I'm flipping mats. I'm
Yeah.
looking for bedding fish. It's Florida in January, and the guy
Yep.
rolled by a bunch of dudes scoping, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, there we go. I'm supposed to be in the middle of the lake
Yep.
chasing around dots at freaking Toho. Like that's just not. Again,
I
it's that
know.
siren song. We had a cold front. I'm like, oh boy, I got to go get them mats with this big weight. Well, I was the only
That's
one up
right.
there. Everybody else
Yep.
out there in the middle diving around. I'm like, oh, great.
Yep.
But
And
you're supposed to,
I expect a lot of that to go on.
yeah, man.
It's kind of the unknown, or it is to me. I mean, a lot of them, a lot of them kids may already know that they can, what they're capable of scoping down there. I don't know because I just haven't done it, but
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it's
won't do it.
obviously can be a deal. No,
Hey,
not there. I won't. No.
no, I was going to say though, you did mix it in this year though, right? I mean, you've been really
Oh yeah, a lot.
focusing on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite a bit, quite a bit. And I used it, I've used it a lot, kind of like what you're talking about. I've used it a lot, like fishing shallow. Like
Hmm.
used it for, let's see, at Champlain, I found a big rock up there, where I was catching largemouth at, and it was way off to the side, away from everything. And the only reason I found it is because I was looking at it as I was like, pitching milfoil up there, and I just noticed as I swung my, uh, trolling motor, a bare spot in the grass, and then there's a rock in the middle of it, and I could see it was checked up, had dots all over it, and man, I don't know, I probably weighed in 4 fish off of that rock.
No kidding.
Being able to see them, yeah. Then like it was in like 5 foot of water. Yep.
See,
But yeah, using it like that, and I know a lot. There's some young guys that are doing that. I think, it seems like Drew Gill's like really, of course, he's really good. I mean, he's probably one of the best at it, but seems
no
like he
doubt.
really does good with it. Fishing shallower,
No doubt.
fishing for largemouth type stuff.
I hate to even say this out loud, to be honest, but nobody pays me any attention, anyways, Russ, when it comes to fishing.
Oh yeah, they do.
But I can assure you that is something in the last like 2 years that I do
Mhm.
more than I don't is up shallow. Like fishing the same way
Yeah.
I've always fished and attacking
Hmm.
stuff, but
Yeah.
I've started really paying attention, and man, it's amazing
Yeah.
how many extra bites you can get up
Yep.
there in the
Yep.
dirt. And if you're like, oh, look, there's something over
Yep.
there. And
Yeah.
I caught I caught a 4 pounder the other day on a jig on a mud bank, headed to fish some stumps, and
Uh-huh.
dropped the trolling motor in. I said, "No way!" Pitchman cricket out there, thunk. I'm like,
Yep.
what? I would have never. I mean, you'd have never even
You
made that
wouldn't know.
pitch. Yeah,
I
you'd have
know it.
never made that pitch 10 years ago.
Yep.
It's amazing.
That's right. Yep. Yep. I mean, years ago, we would always say things like, if you do this or that, it might can give you one more bite.
Oh, I think we lost Russ. He might have got a phone call.
If if you can use live scope, as another tool, doing what you do, if you're grinding around the banks and fishing, just fishing targets the way you always have. And, and that's your comfort zone, and you can use it to get you one or two more bites a day. You'd be a fool to want to give that up, in my opinion.
No doubt about it. Now, talking about the Elite Series and potentially being back, what did you think about that rule change? You got some tournaments with, some tournaments without. Are you a fan of that?
Man, it don't matter to me. I haven't even really looked at it to see which ones, are with and which are without. Um, I don't even know what the schedule is, Luke.
Come on. You're
I
just
don't.
focused, man. You're locked in on the opens.
I don't, man. Yeah, I am locked in on the opens. I'm having fun, and I just want to do good at this last one. I
Just
don't.
get it over with. Then you can start looking where you need to stay next year.
Yeah, like I don't even talk about fishing with anybody. I just, I mean, you know, I'm thinking about hunting right now too. I mean,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, I'm sure I mean, if that's what everybody wants to split it up, that's fine with me.
Yeah,
Whatever.
in NPFL, obviously we went with a ban, and I said at the time to them, I liked the idea of a split. You kind of make everybody happy in that to a certain
Mhm.
extent. You're never going to make
Yeah,
everybody happy, most likely, because we're all fishermen and we all like to
yeah.
bitch and moan a little bit. But I liked it. Yeah, they flipped a coin to
Mhm.
pick which lakes had it and which lakes didn't. They did a big live stream on it on
Yeah,
Bassmaster, and for the most part, I don't think it impacted how those tournaments will be won, other than Lake Champlain's on the schedule, no forward facing at Champlain.
yeah, really.
But good news for
Yeah,
you, you got a waypoint of a magic rock.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, hopefully I can go back and find
Hopefully
it
you'll be
again.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully
right.
you'll be there.
Yeah, but that'll affect the weights because, I mean, gosh, man, look at how many 20-pound bags of smallmouth was weighed in that tournament. It was crazy. Like I had no idea you could catch that, or that many people would catch that many 20-pound bags of smallmouth at Champlain. So, they obviously are swimming around out there. And I
Yeah.
did it some. I had 22 pounds of them the first day. I caught
Mhm.
every largemouth I had, and man, it was like one of the biggest schools of smallmouth I've ever seen, and they were just swimming around in this I don't know 50-yard area. But
No
you
kidding.
know, yeah, but you wouldn't, like, I don't know that you could find that without forward facing sonar. I
I
mean,
was gonna say, how would you? Yeah, how could
yeah,
you find I mean, if you saw them on side imaging for 2 seconds, they'd be gone before you
gone.
can make a
Yeah,
cast. Yeah, they're just
yes,
roaming. Very
that's right.
pelagic.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, and they
Now
were out over nothing too.
now have you adapted it? I know you're very proficient with it. Have you adapted it at home on the Coosa?
I mean, a lot of guys will tell you, and a lot of the guys that are really good at it, they spend their time uh, practicing it, on the spotted bass on Lay, Mitchell, and Jordan here at home.
Mhm.
And yeah, like I've spent a lot of time doing it, and it is really, really good. We're probably about 3 weeks away from it just going off the chain for all winter.
Yeah,
And
man.
man, them things just swim around out in the middle. There's way more 3.5, 4 pound spotted bass in them lakes than I ever would have thought there was. That
Yeah,
they
man.
just swim around. But yeah, it's you just get out there and just look for them, throw at them, throw it as many as you can, and you know
Isn't
they're
that
out there.
amazing to think about from the old jig swimming days, and which
Yeah.
they're still about that every now and then, and the
Oh yeah.
flipping days, but I think
Yeah.
about, like, you and Rutland running around, and
Yeah.
all these Alabama hammers, Jamie
Yeah.
Horton and Kobe Carton
Yep.
and all y'all, and now I pull up and I see Mark McKeag and Tim Hurst out in the middle.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm like,
That's right.
"What's happening right now, man?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
life?" You know,
Man, that's a crew you just named right there. There's been
buddy,
millions of hours spent talking about fishing with that group of guys. Like
no doubt, man.
every one of us are tight. Like, man, and I was pulling for McKeag so hard. I mean,
Me too.
Tucker Smith is an awesome kid. He's gonna
Yeah, I
win.
like Tucker.
Yes, he is going to win a lot more. But
That's right.
I sure would have liked to seen Big Mark holding up that $500,000 check.
Listen, when he was in second going to that last day, I'm like, you know what? I'm sitting on the
Yep,
couch talking to my wife, and she's like, "Who's doing good in that deal?" And I said, "McKeag, man, McKeag's in second."
yep,
And listen, the man don't need any more money from fishing. All right, let's just say that he's won enough of everybody's money over the years. But I was pulling for him
yep,
hard because he's one of my favorites, man. I'm not
yeah,
being an Alabama Bass Trail employee. I'm not supposed to play favorites or have favorites, but I do
right.
like me some Mark McKeag and Tim Hurst, man.
Oh yeah, oh
They,
yeah, good
they
dudes.
good folks, man, and great fishermen. The best part
Yeah,
about my job now that what I get to do with its live coverage, the NPFL, ABT, is getting to watch some of these
I
just
know.
absolute legends. And dude, every time that I get in an area that I get to cover Mark and Tim, it is
Yeah,
so much. Same with Chris and Kobe, man, and of course I
I
fished for
know it.
Kobe a bunch over the years, but getting to see
Yep,
them in tournament mode is pretty special for sure.
I know it. I know it. I've enjoyed fishing those ABT. Uh, what do we call it? The top
The
100
100,
deal.
yeah, the 100,
Yeah,
yeah, man,
with Rutland this year, and he's a couple years older than me. I guess so. He's 55. Man, he is still like he gets
oh
so
yeah,
fired up. Like,
oh yeah,
and we got the one on Wilson the week before I head to Okeechobee,
yeah, two
and I mean
weeks.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to it. It should be really good.
Yeah, I've spent a couple days down there before in my life,
Oh yeah,
Russ Lane, and
oh yeah,
yeah, I'm looking. Miss Bay has said all year the tournament Luke Duncan's looking forward to the most. She called me last fall and she said she was doing a schedule and she said, or excuse me, last spring, and she said, "Do you think it's possible that we could do one there?" Because there's never been a tournament of that size on that lake in my life. Now,
I
a
know.
lot of big tournaments have been won up there, guys locking from Pickwick and all that, but there's never just
Yeah,
been a big team tournament like that. And man,
I
I
know.
got plumb giddy when she was telling me about, hey, we could go out of Shoal Creek. And I'm like, man, of course
Yep.
I'm selfish too. I like sleeping in my own bed to work. That won't be bad at all either. But yeah,
That's
man, I'm
right.
really excited about that one. I think this little cool snap we got, I think fishing will be pretty good.
It'll
And
help.
yeah,
Yeah.
$25,000 on the line. That'll be pretty fun.
I know, I know. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I've never, I don't think I've ever fished a tournament on Wilson, going out of Wilson. I've
Yeah.
locked up there a couple times from Pickwick, but
Yep.
I know it lives there, so
Ain't no
it'll be
doubt,
good.
buddy. Ain't no
Yeah,
doubt. The only problem y'all got, everybody in the tournament, is Donnie Beck and Tony Harvey that just won the championship on Wheeler are in it. And
really.
momentum's a real thing. And they
Yeah,
could be a problem
yeah.
there as well.
There ain't
uh,
no doubt.
they just
Yeah,
won 50 grand Saturday. So they
yeah,
were grinning. We were doing the post tournament interview with them. And I said, well, in a couple weeks, we go to Wilson Lake where you've probably won more money than you've won anywhere else. They both just grinned real big. Said, yeah, that'd be nice to win another. So
yeah,
we'll see down there, man. Yeah, those 100s, dude. Of course, I beat the ABT drum all the time. I think Kay and crew run one of the best tournament trails, if not
yeah.
the best team tournament in the country. But man, those 100s,
Oh yeah,
when Kay offered me a job, I was devastated that I couldn't fish the 100s anymore. Me and little Trace Wyndham had
yeah.
fished them for a couple years. Dude, they're just fun, man.
Uh-huh.
Small
They are
field,
fun. Yeah,
stacked field of hammers. And
yes.
I miss fishing those big time.
Yep, yep. Great competition in them things, and like very well run. Fun tournaments.
No doubt
Hmm.
about it, man. I was pumped to see you on the roster with Chris. Uh, Speaking of rosters, I got to ask you, lots going on. You got one more to go before you make the elites again. But I don't
Yeah,
know if you saw, Russ Lane, that NPFL schedule that came out. Did you happen to see that?
it looks really, really good.
I
Yeah,
thought about you the day it came out. I thought, I
yeah,
wonder if Russ Lane's watching today. If he's looking at this, it's not often you get two back-to-back tournaments on the old Coosa River that you know so well and got more memories on than anybody could ever have. Uh, Back to back, man. It's
yeah.
gonna be something.
I
So,
know,
maybe
I
if you
know.
got some spare weeks, we'd like to see you.
Yeah, well, that's a strong possibility.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
see.
We'll see. He said it's a strong possibility. We'll see. Yeah,
Yep.
man.
Yep.
I'm pretty pumped about that schedule. I think it's
Yep. Me
we'll
too.
see a lot of big fish next year, and a lot of fish get caught, and I think it's right places at the right times for sure.
Yeah.
And look, dude, I love Lay Lake as much as any lake we go to with ABT. I got to fish it a bunch when I was younger, and that place is
Yeah.
something. That one I'm looking forward to because I think it's
Yeah.
just such an underrated fishery. I think nationally, Gunnersville gets a
Yeah.
lot of credit for good reason, and I get that. But man, Lay's freaking been on fire, dude, and it has my whole life. I
Yeah.
feel like.
Yeah. It has. Like I mean, you can catch, there's been numbers of 25-pound bags, weighed in there over the years.
Oh yeah,
You know, that's, man, it's a good lake, man. It can be fickle at times like any of them, but it's,
no doubt.
overall it can sustain 100 boat field with some practice time, and you can compete with spotted bass and or largemouth or both. So it's a good lake. And isn't it on the schedule for like the second week of May, first or second
Yeah,
week
it's
of May?
May.
Is
Yeah,
what I saw. Yeah,
yeah,
like that's a great time. Yeah,
yeah, man.
great
Yeah,
time.
May on Lay Lake will be fun. If you had to
Yeah.
pick, Russ, out of Alabama lakes, if you're talking to somebody that's never been to Bama, out of all the lakes in
Yeah.
your area, where would you send them fishing?
Uh, what time of year? Give me that at
Like,
least.
let's just say spring, where they're biting. If they're biting everywhere. But man, you
Yeah.
you got you got your pets. Where are you sending somebody?
Go to go to Lake Jordan, put on a big bite shaky head worm, and just go down rocky banks, and you will catch 50 spotted bass from 2 pounds to 4 pounds.
Yep, yep, no doubt
Yep.
about it, dude.
That,
I figured
that
you would say
lake,
Jordan.
that lake is insane in spring. It always has been.
Man, we have those ABTs there, 225 boats, which is a crowd on Jordan. And dude, everybody
Yeah.
catches. Like it's just the weigh-ins take forever
Yep.
because they just
Yep.
smash on there. I think we had like
Yep.
40 bags over 15 there 2 Februarys ago or something. I mean, it's just
Yep.
nutty what happens on that lake. So yeah, y'all
Now
heard
I
it here.
miss I miss the days though, like, I'm talking about 25 years ago now, when Jordan was still, a kind of a secret.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was crazy, the bags of spotted bass that me and Rutland caught, and other guys. Like we had some places that we would start on in the wintertime. We'd pull up there, and the tournament would be over with in 10 casts, like over with. And then we could just go flip the rest of the day. It would have, if we called a couple of those 4 pound spots, we'd have 25 pounds. Like is
I was gonna say
but
what
and
did those
it's
bags weigh back then? 25?
tw- well, 20 to 24. Hmm.
Jeez.
Yep.
Gee.
The biggest
What
the biggest bag I remember was a man named Danny Wiles. He had two 6.5s one day, and I remember it was a solo tournament, and I was like, had my chest bowed out because I knew I had it won. I had 24 something, and dragged my bag up there, and he's right behind me, and he had 27 pounds of spots. Like, that's the
Jeez.
biggest bag of spots I ever seen weighed in there.
Jeez.
Yep.
That might
Yeah.
be the biggest one
He
ever
was a
caught. I mean, I don't know. Jamie Horton used to weigh some big ones down at Miller's Ferry back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he would
did.
catch some big
Yep.
ones back in the day, but that place used to
Yep.
really, really have them as well. But that's awesome, man. Coosa River is special. That's a fact.
Yep.
Coosa River is very special. Well, dude, I really appreciate you very much coming on. I know you're trying to kill a deer and thin out that
Yep.
population around your new house down there, your new farm. But man, I appreciate you taking the time to hang with me.
Good to talk to you, man. We go back a long way, so it's good good to
Yes,
catch
we
up.
do. Yeah, it's been knowing you a
Yep.
minute, and dude, I'm pulling for you. One more to go, and you're
Thank,
back. You're back on
thank
the
you.
Elite Series.
That's right. Thank you, dude.
Russ Lane, everybody, right there. That's all she wrote with Russ Lane right there. I appreciate him joining in today, and I want to apologize once again for being a little late. I don't know if y'all sit around with waiting on this to drop or anything, but I normally, Monday mornings are my deal for the most part for a lot of years, but we still got it out on a Monday. It's just a little late for you here on October 20th. Again, I want to say, hug your mama. Hug your mama. October 20th, always going to be a heavy day around here. I appreciate y'all's support for sure. And I'll see y'all next week with another one. Take you out with some Biloxi Blues. See you. Make it last. Spanish moss and Civil War ghosts. Well, I'm gonna leave them in the past. Any direction, Lord, I'll be fine. It don't matter east or west. North, south, wherever the wind blows, I'm leaving those burdens at rest. This highway, it does not know my name, and I don't care. No, I don't care. Heading my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare. Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there.